re-downloaded Hinge. I think within a minute I deleted it. Honestly, it could have been less. I'm saying a minute to be generous, but I really do think it was less time. I live in Utah. Every single guy on that app, dude, I can't. Brunette, mustache, mullet, hobbies include going to the gym, rock climbing, thrifting, pickleball, all the prompts exactly the same. This year I really want to get off this app. Irrational fear, women, you'll win me over if you give good back scratches. Honestly, so gosh. Also, all of them are like 5'10" to 6 foot, which I can say that that's too short because I'm already 5'10". God forbid a woman has a preference. I already dated someone that was 5'11" and I couldn't wear platforms with them, so maybe I just need to move. Also, no one knows how to date out here. Everyone's just horny and is like, let's make out and never talk again. I literally stay as far away from me as possible. I've kissed one boy on the first date. I will never do that again. But I'll go out with guys and like 2 or 3 dates in, they're like, you're not moving fast enough. And then they leave. Like, yeah, I'm not moving. You're a stranger. So I'm not going to kiss you on the, whatever. It's just so much easier to focus on myself and what I'm doing than like to go out and emotionally invest in someone, because it's like a big fat waste of my time. And then I end up going insane. So I would rather avoid that if I could. I don't know.
Okay guys, I saw this video by Graceevans on physiological warfare on dating and whatever. Okay, I just want to talk about, my truth and what I believe in, my ideologies, and kind of like help those out there that are single, or also those that are in couples as well, just kind of like to keep those true relationships here in the United States and pretty much keep that going. You know what I mean? This is why I love the Gen Zers and those who came out on those YouTube channels, on secondhand YouTube channels, talking about it and how their organization is to help you find true relationships until the day you die with your lover. Okay? And to never also break up from, too. So one of the things she said, was that she went on a dating app and Hinge or whatever, and then how it's physiological warfare and how I think I should move out of Utah or whatever. Now, even though if she just moves out of Utah, the dating market is cooked in this new age. And the reason for that is because of the government and Donald Trump, okay? Because it wasn't as bad before. Even before, even though there was a little bit of that dun-da-da and, that bad stuff, it wasn't as bad as it is now, okay? And the reason it was better before with a little bit of that stuff is because if you wanted to do that dun-da-da and bun-da-da, all right, at least you could find the right people and it wouldn't be bad for you not to do it, okay? And it would be looked at as bad, then at least you found a way to just do something where you didn't, want a real man, or you know what I mean? You wanted to do that dun-da-da and that dun-da-da, okay? And with the OnlyFans garbage, okay? So all I'm trying to say is, that the government, and we'll get into it, and the government tried to implement this thing where the church should be part of the school, the high school, and the college, which is another reason why it also politicized, the belief of Jesus, because of these two reasons, too. And that is, one, people politically were shut out, okay, from whoever, either in the church or outside the church, from asking true questions or something that's not even part of the church or the story of the Bible, and they were shut out from it. And that's also the reason why those people who left the church actually ruined, well, not the people who left it, but those who shut them out ruined it for them. And this is why I also believe that all churches should be defunded if it goes this way, and if it goes that way, because church should be separate from the schools. It should be separate. It should never be together from high school or college, because it creates a lot more problems. And that's also the problem with the MAGA or whatever group that is, the cult group, right, that is part of the Trump and following the Trump, because now there's people that just, they sell them on the dating market. They sell them on the dating market to do that dun-da-da, all right? That's why if you were to do the dun-da-da, you have to sell your soul all the way. And that's why any pure human who does the strip pulling, who does part of the sell your soul cult, you're nowhere near the pure people, and you're never even going to be an option part of the pure people and the Gen Zers and the people on those YouTube channels who help those single people and people who are in couples and in marriages to be with pure-hearted humans, to live with their lover until the end. Okay? You're never going to be with those people. So until you clean your slate completely and start from scratch, that's the only way you can. And, okay. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is like how online people, and also to add with the immigration thing that is part of that. The problem with the government, right, and Donald Trump ruined everything, is that the immigration law of like enforcing criminals, right, to deport criminals, right? But the problem is they started deporting people who were not criminals for a little bit there. And then all of a sudden they enforced it, right, with the government and stuff. And so the reason that's a problem is because they went after cultured people first. And they didn't, like, see who was criminals in the first place. So that's the problem. That's a problem with the dating market too, as well. Because they went after, first they went after Mexicans, Asians, not just blacks, because they didn't even go after white people. White people were people who robbed the stores, robbed the stores, robbed the banks, all that other criminalization stuff, right? And the dating market too. And so the people they did went after is Asians, blacks, Arabians, Russians, people who actually helped others live in a better living space, okay? And that's why the dating market is also broken and cooked, because even if Graceevans, and this is why I don't like the thing that she said, maybe I have to move out of Utah. No, it's not just because you have to move out of Utah. It is actually also because if you were to move out of Utah, go to Michigan, or go somewhere else where it would be easier to date someone, there's nobody there. And another one thing I can add to that, all right, before I get to the online talk, is that even if you were to move away, there's a lot of spots where there's no one that even wants to date anymore. Okay? So it's not just about if you move somewhere else in the United States that you'll find a better dating spot. You might even have to go outside of the United States completely in order to find someone. And I don't know for everything. But what I do know is that also that's why feminism is dead, and that I love the Gen Zers for dissing on that, okay? And this is also going with the online stuff. There were people back before 2017, or before even 2016, that asked online, and I don't know where they started from, okay? Asked online, hey, where can I find, a man today? And it wasn't crazy, and this is why we need to bring back high and good standards, okay? Number one, good standards, the both of you should take time, if you're going to be in a relationship, to love and do the activities you want to do in your relationship. And also accept each other's goals. If you can't accept each other's goals, you should never be together. Never even think about it. Because that's just corruption for your future relationship, and you will break up soon because of it. Okay? Now, another reason for that is also because online people asked before, and they found true relationships by not asking for too much, and also that they're not moving. Even if this was the thing that I loved from back then, from 2006 all the way to 2016. Okay, and I'm starting to see it a little, because even I've experienced. I've gone out there to the stores and asked people, hey, you want to date? They're just not wanting to date anymore. Okay, and it's not just guys, it's girls too. And those who keep asking online now are, I think, they're lost humans, because they won't even accept the correct standards and the correct procedures just to get there. So women, you also cooked yourself because you told men not to by having horrible standards. Okay? And this is why the people who asked from back then say, oh yeah, I just go do this, and I don't want to ask for too much. I want you to clean the house like I do and they do. And that actually makes for a good relationship. Okay? And they're not asking, just because you're not moving too fast and you don't have a lot of money and you don't have a house, even if you were homeless, I would take you in and love you. Okay? And that's where the true relationships came. And that's where all of these YouTubers came out on their YouTube channels, and all of these pure-hearted humans too, of the Gen Zers and the pure-hearted adult people, came out on YouTube channels and actually talked about how bad it is. Because it is not the United States people's fault, and here's why. It is the government of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's fault because he deported people who are helping those get in a better living situation so they can find someone who had those high standards done and were moving along correctly, and now they're gone. Most of them are gone. Okay? So if you want to find someone, Graceevans, to date, you got to think about your standards. And you also got to think about why the church is not any good anymore and how it's dying. And this is why I believe the story of Jesus needs to just be separate from the church, and all churches got to go away now. All churches. Okay? That's the belief of mine. And not saying that the church did help people. I'm just saying it's cooked now. It's cooked because the government effed it up. Alright? So unless there's a refurbishment or rehab of fixing all of that, then no. I don't believe that you going somewhere else or living somewhere else is going to help your dating market. And not even the dating pool. Okay? So, let's bring it back a little. Let me think. Okay? So look, I think that in order for Graceevans or for someone like me to find someone, you have to have good standards. And just because you're not moving along in the world, you need to pick what's going to work out for you in your relationship, even if he doesn't have it. Okay? And I know there's other things that I will talk about that goes along with the dating thing. And I would agree, if my girl says they are okay with me checking their phone daily on who they text and who they talk to, and they're okay with checking my phone on who I text and who I talk to with, then yes. But just because you and those other things of like losing a man and you lost him because of he cheated and this, what? Well, that's because you didn't have good standards and you were asking for too much, and you also didn't listen to your woman or man that said, you're doing too much and I can't keep up with it. And all you did was yell at them and scream at them for things you wanted them to still do. No, that is not the correct thing to do. The correct thing to do would be to tell them nicely. But, can you at least do this, and maybe that will help fix that, and then we can work that, and I can help work on that with you together. No, women and men in bad relationships don't even say that. Okay? And these are the people who are pure-hearted people and only look for one person a day and not two people in a relationship. Now, I understand maybe your body doesn't work, you wanted two people. But those people have actually listened to the Gen Zers, and those people have listened to the couples who have had a hard time with that, and it made it work. Those are not the people who are running around and sleeping around. Okay? So this is my message to Graceevans. You tell 50% of the truth. All of dating pool is not physiological warfare. But with the law and government and the church is implementing, you need to be at church every day, and you went church, and those are the people where the physiological warfare is happening. Okay? The government is added to that because Donald Trump ruined everything. So to end this all is, hope you guys are having a great day, stay safe, and Graceevans, think about what you're doing. Think about who in the church is causing the physiological warfare. Then you can think about it. And this is also why the dating apps are a false lie. Alright? Because they can be corrupted by anyone. And it's because first when the dating apps came out, there were only a few of them. And that's what caused a lot of the good, pure relationships in the United States and then outside of the United States. But now, if you look at the dating apps, there's too many of them, and there's too many people with dating apps that are not even checked. They're all unchecked. All the dating apps coming out, they're unchecked. And that's why I believe dating apps should die. They should die in 2026. And no dating app should be published ever again. And I hope Google goes after them and says, you have to have truancy in your dating apps or you cannot exist. So I hope you guys are having a great day. And peace and love, and listen to my advice because I'm just trying to spread the truth and clarity about all of it around. No lies.